terms of the 3D Raptor hand, there's a lot of different components to it. And those are the major components right up there. And once you actually make each one of the plastic pieces, it has to be assembled and put together. So it's just not the making of it, you also have to assemble it. They talk about the different parts of the 3D printer. The most important part is the filament, right here. And that basically is the plastic material used to actually make the different parts of the Raptor hand. Once it reaches a certain temperature, it can actually melt this filament down on the plate to make the different parts of the hand itself. Now, one of the things I found out right away is that you need to size the hand right. And once you know the individual that you're making the hand for, you can kind of size the parts accordingly. Okay? So when I initially did it, I used a piece of software called Slicer. And basically that pulls the actual code for each of those parts into code for this particular make of 3D printer. The next step would be to calibrate and level the actual platform where it's riding to right now. So this process involved leveling each corner, and it walks you through each step of how to level the platform. If the platform is not level, it's not going to print out correctly. The next step would be to actually load the filament itself. And you have to make sure the temperature is correct in order for the filament to actually melt. So this plastic piece here, you actually thread the filament through, and it kind of guides it to the hole at the top here. And it feeds down into the nozzle. So it's almost like I said, it's almost like an inkjet spray, what it's doing. You remember how inkjets spray out the ink? Well, this is actually spraying out the plastic onto the platform. Same principle. But this is probably more akin to a thermal printer than anything. Because a thermal printer heats up the ink, and it has a real glossy finish to it. So once you get to that point, it basically maintains the temperature as you're printing. But immediately when it's done printing, the temperature goes back down. So you want to be careful not to touch the plate, because it's heating the plate and it's also heating the nozzle. The plate can get very hot. So you want to definitely make sure it's cooled down, or use gloves, they recommend. So I do have some gloves for that. So the whole process of making this hand could take up to 36 hours, each piece. Then you have to put it together. So it's a pretty intensive process that Max had to go through in order to do this. I'd like for every one of you to actually try to do a piece eventually. But in the meantime, you need to research. Do your research based on the handout that I gave you. And it walks you through on how to do this, and I'll walk you through how to do it, each one of you.